Hi students, in this video, you are going to learn about ER schema constraints. ER schema constraints. Constraints in ER schema are divided into two types, mapping cardinalities and participation constraints. First is mapping cardinalities. Mapping cardinalities are also called cardinality ratios, express the number of entities to which another entity can be associated via a relationship set. We can compare two entities with their relationship. For a binary relationship set or between entity sets A and B, the mapping cardinality must be one of the following types: one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, many-to-one relationship, and many-to-many relationship. First is one-to-one relationship. An entity, also called an object, in A is associated with at most one entity in B. One-to-one relationship between an instructor and a student. Example, a student is associated with at most one instructor via the relationship advisor. So in this diagram, it is given pictorially. So instructor attributes are ID, name, and salary. One instructor will be the advisor for one student. A student is associated with at most one instructor. Its mapping cardinality is shown on the left side. One-to-many relationship. An entity or object in A is associated with any number of entities in B, but an entity in B can be associated with at most one entity in A. One-to-many means one A entity can have multiple B entities, but each B entity will have one A entity relationship. One-to-many relationships between an instructor and a student. An instructor is associated with several students via the advisor. So advisor is the relationship. One instructor can be having many students, but each student will have only one instructor. A student is associated with at most one instructor via advisor. Many-to-one relationship. An entity or object in A is associated with at most one entity in B, but an entity in B can be associated with any number of entities in A. A will be mapped to at most one entity in B, but B will be having multiple A entities. In a many-to-one relationship between an instructor and a student, an instructor is associated with at most one student via advisor. A student is associated with several instructors via advisor. So same real-time scenario for different cardinalities we can map and see. Now each student will have many instructor in many-to-one relationship. Many-to-many relationship, both entity A and entity B will be having many-to-many relationship. An entity in A is associated with any number of entities in B. An entity in B can be associated with any number of entities in A. In a many-to-many relationship, an instructor and a student, an instructor is associated with several students via advisor. A student is associated with several instructors via advisor. So this is many-to-many relationship. The second type of schema constraints is participation constraint. Cardinality constraint we have seen. Now it is participation constraints. There are two types of participation constraints. Total participation constraint. It is indicated by double line in the ER diagram. Every entity in the entity set participates in at least one relationship in the relationship set. Example, participation of loan entity in borrower relationship is total. All the loan entities will be having definitely a borrower. Every loan must have a customer associated to it via the borrower. Partial participation constraint. Some entities may not participate in any relationship in the relationship set. Example, participation of customer entity in borrower relationship is partial. Some customers will be buying a loan. Some customers will not get a loan. So all the customers will not be a part of a borrower. But if we take total participation, all loan entities will definitely will have a borrower. So that is total participation. Thank you.